Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to Lion Voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
I'm Nana Farika. The time has come for the lioness to tell her story from her viewpoint and tell the world who Queen Omega is. This is the lion's voice.
So, His Majesty at the start of this coronation, he ordered Psalm 122 to be read.
Okay.
So, Psalm 122 was the emperor's choice of the first psalm.
So what happened to the people who burn the Bible, Ras Ivi? How them are going to feel when they
Listen,
hear this?
if you are not knowledgeable of the grand coronation, step into Lion Talk. Talk about the grand coronation. This grand coronation was a biblical event.
Well, this is
Remember,
why you should be careful.
14 years prior to, 49 devout priests, bishops, and monks are chant Psalms of David continuously in turn. This is not a simple thing.
And we have to remember that this church, which had split, at the Council of Chalcedon, had prepared itself to anoint this king. This is, the crown had to be bestowed by this institution, which was preserving the true faith of Yeshua, fully human, fully divine. From how it was at the beginning of Nile Valley civilization, where we recognize the Almighty within man.
So, Psalm 122 was ordained by His Majesty. I was glad when they said unto I, come, let us go into the house of the living Ras Tafari. My feet should stand in thy gates, O Jerusalem. Jerusalem is built as a city that is compact together. Whether the tribes go up, the tribes of the Most High, to the testimony of it, to give thanks and praises unto the name of the living I. He said, Jah Rastafari. For here I said, thrones of judgment to judgment, thrones of the house of great David. We pray for the peace of Ethiopia. I and I shall prosper that love Jah. That was the first psalm that was read, that brought everyone on their feet. And then, when that happened, the Abuna, Krilios, would come forward. And the Abuna Krilios, the man who will officiate the whole thing now, because, he too went into the Bible and he read Psalm 72. So coronation was a biblical event.
The year is 1892, and the land of Ethiopia has been experiencing 4 years of terrible famine and drought. They call it the Kikuken, or the evil days. At least 1/3 of the human population and 90% of the cattle have died. The hyenas have feasted on so many carcasses that they have become overweight and barely able to move. Just when the people could take no more of the evil days, a woman named Wasiro Yeshimabet is giving birth in a place called Erjersa Gora. This is her 9th attempt to bring forth new life. Her previous 8 attempts only resulted in death. Will this child live? Thankfully, a healthy baby boy is born. His first cries are drowned by thunder and lightning flashes across the night sky. The heavens open up and torrential rain starts to fall. Ethiopia's drought is over, and the baby boy is given the name Tafari, meaning one to be feared or respected. Ras Tafari's father, Ras Makonnen, is a very important man in 1892 Ethiopia. Although he is overjoyed at the birth of his newborn son, he cannot spend much time with him. Ras Makonnen is the governor of Harar and must get back to the famous walled city to deal with its affairs. Furthermore, he is the foreign minister of Ethiopia, and having traveled to different places in Europe, he is very aware of the material and military advances they have made and the looming threats they pose to his country. Ras Makonnen knows that the majority of Ethiopians have no idea what is coming, and that he has to work that much harder to secure the realm. Ras Tafari would grow up to become the legendary emperor, Haile Selassie I. To understand his journey, we must first understand the Ethiopia that he was inheriting and what it was like when he was born in 1892. Get your copy of Kwesi Bansu's book, Haile Selassie I, Ethiopia, Volume 1, The Rise of the Priestly Warrior Kings, and increase your knowledge about the history, politics, and culture of Ethiopia in 1892, and how it connects to the rest of African and world history at the time. Haile Selassie I, Ethiopia, Volume 1 is available for purchase at www.bookmanexpress.pub. Please visit for more information.
And being crowned, I mean, the Jazzmack in his youth days until he became the regent, Ras, heir to the throne, Ras of Rases, Judge of Judges, Regent Plenipotentiary 1916, 1928, became Negos, and then November now was slated for this grand coronation. So 14 days prior to the coronation, the clergy was in their high orders, praying over the royal appurtenances of the coronation for 14 days and nights. This is a serious commitment of what you call spirituality, where these priests gathered and, these are fast days. And they would have prayed unceasingly and chanted until the night of the 1st of November. That's the time now when they said the emperor and empress spent a night of prayer in the Holy of Holies. Now some man will say, wait, so the empress did in that too? Of course. The king brought his queen. They were inside the Kiddush Kidan, the Holy of Holies, male and female, chanting solemn prayer and meditation. I remember the coronation is a morning, and they were in meditation and prayer the night. They spent the night at the holy altar. So the morning, 7 a.m., when those church bells rang and the drums sounded and everyone was ready. St. George's Cathedral, large as it was, because I stood at the door and I looked inside 1992 and I imagined coronation and said, this massive church couldn't hold the grand coronation. No, they had to have two great tents outside in the churchyard and two canopies where the twin thrones were. And the bedrock from the throne room of King Solomon was also brought and placed inside these canopies to seat the throne of David. So it was like replicating the old Davidic Solomonic lineage, that even the bedrock from the destructed temple in Jerusalem was brought to Ethiopia. Okay. For his grand coronation.
I did not know that. So you see?
Yes, if you read Asorate Kasa's book, Tragedies and Triumph of the King of Kings, you will get that information. So under these great tents were the twin thrones, and then 49 devout priests and monks in the seven side at the cathedral. Now, if we look at the geographical location now, the cathedral was over there. The great tents was on the outside. So you will hear, and when you read the National Geographic, and it says from inside the cathedral came the seemingly far off chants of hundreds of priests chanting prayers to the God of gods. That means you're outside, but the sound of chants was emanating from inside the cathedral, outside into the great tents in mighty volume. And then the Abuna Krilios. Now we know that the head of the church now was the Holy Alexandrian Church, was the Abuna Krilios. So he too had to journey from Egypt to come to Ethiopia to be a part of the occasion, because he was the high Abuna. So he was the patriarch of Alexandria. So he had to be there. So, His Majesty at the start of this coronation, he ordered Psalm 122 to be read.
Okay.
So Psalm 122 was the emperor's choice of the first psalm.
So what happened to the people who burn the Bible, Ras Ivi? How they going to feel when they hear this?
If you are not if you are not knowledgeable of the Grand Coronation, step into Lion Talk. Talk about the Grand Coronation. This Grand Coronation was a biblical event.
Well, this is
Remember,
why you have to be careful.
14 days prior to, 49 devout priests, bishops, and monks are chant Psalms of David continuously in turn. It's not a simple thing.
And we have to remember that this church, which had split, at the Council of Chalcedon, had prepared itself to anoint this king. This is, the crown had to be bestowed by this institution, which was preserving the true faith of Yeshua, fully human, fully divine, from how it was at the beginning of Nile Valley civilization, where we recognize the Almighty within man.
So, Psalm 122 was ordained by His Majesty. I was glad when they said unto I, come, let us go into the house of the living Ras Tafari. My feet should stand in thy gates, O Jerusalem. Jerusalem is built as a city that is compact together. Whether the tribes go up, the tribes of the Most High, to the testimony of it, to give thanks and praises unto the name of the living eye. He said, Jah Rastafari. For here I said, thrones of judgment to judgment, thrones of the house of great David. We pray for the peace of Ethiopia. I and I shall prosper that love Jah. That was the first psalm that was read, that brought everyone on their feet. And then, when that happened, the Abuna, Crilius, would come forward. And the Abuna Crilius, the man who will officiate the whole thing now, because, he too went into the Bible and he read Psalm 72. So coronation was a biblical event. Give the king thy judgment, O Lord, and thy righteousness unto the king's son. That was Psalm 72. So we are asked once, the youth out there, go read these Psalms and know that these were read at the grand coronation.
And they would have been read in Ge'ez language. They would have been chanted in the ancient.
In the ancient Ge'ez.
Yes.
Ge'ez. So Prince Udini and them boy who claim to them learn. They might hear a language where strange language.
Yes,
They're serious and independent people. Them speak in them own tongue. Yeah? Them have them own king, them own generals, them own you better call them in Europe lords. We had Rasses.
Yes.
The Jazzmax. We had
the lion mane armor. Rhino.
Listen.
Yes.
And we must say this. How His Majesty skillfully seat them, because he had the organizers. If you're the king of Tigray, you sat beside Prince Udini, or Prince Udini sat right beside the king of Tigray. So when him looked to him left, him see a mighty lion beside him. If him look to him right, him see the king of Wallow. So His Majesty place that you have your rank, we have our rank too.
Yes.
He's a duke. I'm going to put another Ethiopian of rank right beside you. So His Majesty make them realize that you have your rank, we have our ranks too.
Well, great is the Almighty, and greatly to be praised in the city of Haile Selassie I, the mountain of His holiness.
Yeah, from Cape to Cairo, from Timbuktu to the Nile, the whole entire continent.
Beautiful for situation, the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion, from Accra to Addis Ababa.
Yes, it's a beautiful continent, better control, mama.
Very beautiful.
From Cape to Cairo, from Timbuktu to the Nile, I smile for Mama.
I hear you call Mama Africa. Been so long since I see Mama. Father of Africa set the law. The lion come and dismantle Babylon flaw. We gonna use solar energy, use sanitation to build the ecology. We utilizing green technology. We hailing Haile Selassie first without apology. And then we build the youth them economy. We dismantle Babylon monopoly. We teach the youths them how to live properly. Tell them make sure them got the title for them property.
Yes, this beautiful continent that I'm gonna show Mama Africa. From Cape to Cairo, from Timbuktu to the Nile, I smile for Mama Africa.
I love you, mama, your heart never harden. I wanna turn all your slums into garden. I wanna stop all of your youths from starving. I wanna stop all of your tribes from warring. So much to say, so many feelings. We both been hurt, we both need healing. Since the League of Nations you've been appealing. You stand up against them backdoor dealing.